Hey there, what's happening, you all? Welcome back to the Elevation Lab. This is your host, Rick the Billionaire. And it's been a while. I did that video before. Um, Again, if you're new to this space, most welcome. Feel at home. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and also turn the notifications on. Always get updated. Get to release a new video. Um, so I have been contemplating on what actually to release in terms of the value that I have, and um, also I never wanted to go in depth on demand and supply, which is the last video that I did, and also I would love to release the mad source that I have on volume profile at least once we subscribers, because I feel like it's so much of value and the community should grow to that point for me to release the value out there. But again, if we don't grow to that point, it doesn't mean I'm going to stay with the value. I'll make sure that it's out there for you guys. So I've done a lot. It would be so unfair for me to just let you guys trade blindly without speaking on the most important topic when it comes to trading. And I know I've talked about market structure. I've talked about how you can calculate pips. I mean, I did build a solid foundation on how to get started right. And I believe it's very, very important. It would be so unfair for me if I don't speak on risk management, because now this is me actually letting you just trade blindly. And risk management, anytime we speak about risk, this is one of the most underrated topics, or even this is one of the most underrated things by traders. Yet it's of very, very great importance. One, because it helps grow your psychology, and two, because we are in the business of managing risk. So if you don't really know how to manage risk, that simply means that you do not understand the business model. So without much further ado, I'm going to share my screen just to speak on risk management. Probably we're going to use a whiteboard. Okay, let me just share my screen, then we can use the bottom part of my screen right here. So a while ago, big shout out to my mentor, Nimar, who taught me this formula that I want to share with you guys. And this formula, I'm going to guarantee you, if you follow it to the point, or rather to the dot, you will never, and I repeat, you will never have to blow your accounts ever again. Again, I said if you follow it. If you don't blame me. Today I'm going to teach you guys of a technique that's referred to as risk modeling. And what I'm going to speak about risk modeling, this is a technique that I learned from my mentor. And it's a technique used to determine the quantity of order that you're going to take. Anytime I'm speaking of quantity, I'm speaking of the lot size, yeah, because it's from the lot size now where we get to understand this is the value. This is the value of my order. So I'm going to quickly define risk modeling as a technique. This is a technique, yeah, slash method of determining order quantity. And it's really important anytime you're managing risk. Yeah? Anytime you're managing your risk, it's very, very important for you to trade, or rather for you to have like a formula or even like a system for managing risk. Because if you don't have that now, simply means you're just blindly trading, yeah, and you are nothing but a gambler. in this space, and on this channel we're trying to grow real traders, real people who are profitable in the long run. Yeah, so stay on the alert, be very keen. As much as it's hard to grasp this, I mean, hard in terms of getting off your indisciplined phase to a disciplined phase. Yeah, but I would really advise you to try as much as you can to follow this formula to the letter. So there are really some few important points that I would really want to put across anytime you're speaking about risk management. Yeah, anytime you're speaking about risk management, there are a few important things to put in consideration. And one of those things is, let me just things to put in consideration while risk modeling. One of those things will be the account size. Yeah, of course, anytime I'm speaking about the account size, this is the size of your business. Yeah, again, trading is a business, and your account size is definitely the amount that you're dealing with, the size rather the volume of your business. So it's very important to put that into consideration every time that we are modeling our risk. The second thing to put into consideration is our setup. And our setup includes a few things. One, we have our entry. Of course, entry is not as important during risk modeling. What I would really want us to focus on this setup is the stop loss and our target. Stop loss and take profit or target. Yeah. We all know that the take profit is the target. We all know that the stop loss is append in order that simply states this is how much I'm willing to extend my loss to. If it goes past this point, then I'm done for the day. Please just take me out. This is not what I was anticipating for. And finally, our risk to, of course, this again narrows down to the setup. Yeah, risk to reward. It's very important for you to have like a constant, not necessarily a constant, but to have a nice risk to reward ratio. Anytime I'm speaking about a nice risk to reward ratio, I'm speaking about anything from 1 to 2 and above. Of course, you'll never want to risk a percentage of your account just to gain a percentage of your account. That's not it. At least if you're taking a risk, let it be worth. It can be a 1 to 2, it can be a 1 to 3, it can be a 1 to 4, however you want it. For me, I always go for a 1 to 4 trade. Yeah? That's my place. But again, perfect risk management or rather risk modeling strategy as to put in the risk to reward ratio into consideration. And yes, these are some of the three important things to put into consideration while risk modeling. Before I even dive into the formula, I would also want to put some rules into consideration. Again, these are rules that you can tweak them to your liking. These are rules that you can, of course, remodel them into your liking based on the size of your account, based on the type of account that you are trading on. If it's a funded account, then you will know how to operate on it. If it's a personal account, then you also know how to operate on it based on your liking. The first and most important rule is the rules. And the first rule will be, do not risk more than 3% of your account in a single position. What do I mean do not risk more than 3% of your account in a single position. You understand that we're looking for longevity. Yeah, we don't want to be dead tomorrow. We just don't want to like stake our entire account in a single position. So this is a rule that was taught to me by my mentor. Of course, I twitched it, trading a funded account, because we have rules for a funded account. Like for instance, most funded accounts have like a 5% maximum daily drawdown. So you never even want to have like a 3% on a single position. So yeah, just switch on to your liking, but it's a very, very important longevity over, is in, you need to understand there is power in compounding. You can come from 0 to 1, then 1 to 2, 2 to 3, all the way to 100, instead of trying to come from 0 to 100 in a single day, because that is always a recipe for crime. So do not risk more than 3% of your account in a single position. This simply means, let's say I'm taking a buy on gold. Yeah, simply means I have to take a risk of 3% on that single position. Yeah. This second rule, um, it also be very important. Let's say for instance that day you just want to trade gold, yeah, and nothing else. You just want to trade gold. You can like risk. You can open not necessarily a single position, but let's say your daily. Of course, you have to set a daily maximum daily drawdown in your personal account. It's not just for a funded account. You have to set a maximum daily drawdown, yeah, and that is where the second rule comes. It states, do not lose more than 10% of your account in a day. These are rules that I'm putting in place just to make sure there's longevity in a trading career, just to make sure that you are here for the longest time and to make the most out of it. So again, make sure you don't lose more than 10% of the account. Understand there's a lot of, especially for the newbies, people try to like revenge trade. Anytime you get to lose a trade, you want to go back in and make back your money, which is so wrong. Yeah, it's very important to understand that, yes, I failed on this, and also to acknowledge that this is not your day. Just lay back, sit back. I mean, look at your trades that you took, what you did wrong. Then also understand that there are always opportunities. There's always money to be made every single day, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Just understand that. So once you realize, for this case, this simply means we cannot take more than 3 trades in a day. Let's say I lose 3 trades back to back. I took the first trade, which was a 3% risk, then another trade, which was a 3% risk, then another trade that's already 9%. So for me, I'm always down for the day if I have like 3 losses back to back. Yeah. So again, do not lose more than 10% of the account in a day. These are very, very, very crucial rules that are going to help you stay in the game for long. These are rules that are going to help you grow in all ways. Again, you can always tweak this based on the type of account that you're trading on. If you have a bigger account, you can always risk more. But again, remember, you have to have rules in place. And these rules have to set the type of risk you're taking in a single position, and also what you are looking forward to, maybe the maximum daily drawdown. Also, if you want, you can go ahead based on your own liking and set maximum like figures for the day. I mean, I can say if I make this, then I'm done for the day. Again, it's all about compounding. There's so much power in compounding than just trying to get from 0 to 100 in a single day. So these are 2 important rules that are going to go hand in hand with the formula that I'm going to be teaching you guys in a few. So here's the formula that I use to risk model. I'm going to call it the risk modeling formula. This is something that really changed. This really changed how I approach risk management. It has helped me pass several challenges. Of course, me being a trader was so aggressive at the start. It took me a while to grasp this and fully understand this. Not because I did not want to. Okay, not because that it was hard, but because I did not want to. I was aggressive. I just wanted to risk more. And in one way or another, I had to learn. And I'm also still learning, even up to date, because sometimes I also like tend to like get aggressive. So just to have the discipline to contain myself together and all that, it's very important, because the faster you learn a lesson in trading, it's always good, because you'll go to the next lesson. There's so many lessons to be learned in this space. So this is the formula where we get to take our risk. For this case, let me just add something here on the account size. This is where now we get to speak about, okay, I forgot to risk here, which is definitely expressed into percentage. Once you start viewing trading in terms of percentages, I promise you, you will grow. A lot of people tend to review the money. You might be trading on a very small account. Then once you're in profit, tend to look at the profits and probably say, this is too little. Yet you're already up big percentages. So it's very important to approach your trading in terms of percentages, because once you start approaching it in this way, now it gets even easier for you as an individual, and you'll elevate within time, trust me. So of course, this is the formula. Let me just bold this. So the formula is your risk, which is expressed into percentage, always in pips, yeah, percentage in points. If you don't know how to calculate pips, I did an entire video on how to. I just go back, watch how to calculate pips. Then the answer that you'll get what we refer to as a lot. And simply a lot is the size, it's the size of a pip. So for you to get the lot size, I will have to divide the lot by 10 for us to get the lot size. And this is the formula that I use. This is the formula that I use to manage my risk. So quickly, I'm going to let's manage. Okay, I'm going to do an hypothetical. I'm going to do hypothetical example, just to show you guys how you can put this formula into place, for you even to manage risk. Let me get this. Let's get a clear background. Let me get rid of this for us to have a clear background. Let me get rid of this indicator, the Asian session range. Oh no, just give me a moment. Okay, good. So here to use the risk modeling formula, of course we said it's risk, which is always expressed into percentage. Then we're going to divide it by our stop loss in pips to get the lot. Then once we have our lot, we divide the lot by 10 to get the lot size. So every time before I open a position, I always have my calculator. Why? Because I have to calculate the size of order that I'm going to input in my trading account. I don't just open a lot from the blues. I don't just sit like I'm going to open a 0.1. I'm going to open like a 0.3. No. I take a calculator very quickly. I can take even a minute to do this. So let's do this. We're going to have a few examples. Let's begin by modeling a risk. We're going to model a risk for $1,000 account, and also we're going to model a risk for a much lower account, like a $200 account. So remember, the first thing and the most important rule, we add a few rules in place, and our rules say that we don't risk more than 3% in a single position. So this simply means for one position, I'm taking a 3% risk. So at 3%, 3% of 1,000, 3% of 1,000 should be 3% of 1,000. This is probably $30. This is $30. So this simply means for every single position that I'm going to open, I will be risking $30. For every single position, I'll be risking $30, which is equivalent to 3% of my account size, which is $1,000. Yeah. We're taking three hypothetical examples. The first one, we have a stop loss. Now these are the stop losses. The first trade, we have a 20 pips stop loss. Then we also have another trade where we have like 30 pips stop loss. And I have another position where I have 15 pips stop loss. So remember the formula. The formula goes like risk, which is $30 for this case, divided by our stop loss. For this case, we have a 20 pip stop loss. So it's 30 divided by 20. Then the answer that you get, you divide it by 10 to get the lot size. Let me get the answer. It should be 30 divided by 20. It's 1.5. Then divide 1.5 by 10. It's 0.15. So now this right here, 0.15, it's the lot size that I have to open for me to lose $30 in case this position goes in the wrong direction. Yeah. We have a second scenario. Again, you can always reverse this to be sure. 0.15, of course, this is the lot size times 10. For you to get the lot, then times 20 for you to get the loss, or rather the figures. Okay, we have the second scenario where we have 30, which is our risk. We are risking $30, which is equivalent to 3% of our account. Then you divide by 30. Definitely you're going to get 1. Then you divide 1 by 10. This should be 0.1. Now we have a second position where we have our stop loss of 30 pips, where now we will be required to open a 0.1 lot size position. And once you open a 0.1 lot size position, in case our trade goes wrong, then we'll end up losing only $30 because it's a 30 pip stop loss trade. And finally, we have a 15 pip stop loss where we are risking $30, which is our risk, divided by 15. Then the answer we get, we divide by 10. That should give you like a clean. So again, you understand now, these are different positions where we have different stop losses. And on these positions, we have different lot sizes. But at the end of the day, we only get to lose 3% of our account, which is equivalent to $30. Why? Because now we have a formula that is assisting us to model our risk based on the stop loss. So the better your entries are, the better lot size you're going to get, probably even a better risk to reward ratio. Again, you don't really have to like compress your stop losses. It's always important for you to set your stop losses in the right place based on structure. You don't set stop losses based on how much you're willing to lose. You set stop losses based on structure. So stop losses are always set where in case price doesn't go, they always set in places where it invalidates the setup. You don't set stop losses based on the figures that you're willing to use. So now we have this scenario where we have modeled a risk using different lot sizes. or rather using different stop losses, and we have different lot sizes, all which will accumulate for us, or rather which will lead to a $30 loss in case our trade went into the wrong direction. Now, the other thing that we said, we began by saying account size is very important to put into consideration, because it's from the account size where we get to calculate the amount of risk to take for a single position. The other thing, it's our setup, and the setup we also want to speak about the risk to reward ratio. Let's take, for instance, we maintain a constant 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. This simply means for every 1%, that we risk to grow account, this is what risk to reward ratio means. For every 1% risk, you're going to gain 3%. So this is very important. Risk to reward ratio, it's always very important to maintain like a constant risk to reward ratio. Sometimes you'll understand your trade won't fully materialize to the type of risk to reward ratio that you want, but it's also important to set rules in place, like when to take partials, or even when to exit completely off a trade without even necessarily having the trade come to your target point. But again, it's very important to have rules on taking partials, or even when to move your stop loss to break even. That is a whole entire topic on trade management. So now, let's say we always maintain like a constant risk to reward ratio of 1 to 3. This is where I want to show you the importance of risk management. Let's say, for instance, we had a very tough week, like we took 10 trades throughout the week, and we experienced 6 losses. Experienced 6 losses for 10 trades that we took in the week, and only got the chance to win 4 trades. Even to make it worse, we had a very terrible week. We had 7 losses and only 3 wins. Of course, at the end of the day, we have 7 losses. We expect our week to be terrible. We expect our week to have ended out so badly. But this is where I want to show you the importance of risk management. We took 7 losses throughout the week and only 3 wins. And of course, we expect our account to be down. But let's see if we'll be down, yeah? Maintaining a constant 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. So if we come up here, we are seeing that we were risking 3% for every single trade. So this simply means for every loss that we took, we lost 3% of our account. So 7 times 3, this simply means we took a 21% loss through the week. Then again, it simply means for every trade that we won, remember our risk is 3%, and you're maintaining a constant risk of 1 to 3. So this simply means we are risking 3%. For our 1 to 3, this simply means every single position that's marked our target point, we gained 9% from it. So now we only got the chance to win 3 trades, where in every trade we won 9%. Why? Because you're maintaining a constant risk to reward ratio of 1 to 3. So this simply means we were able to gain 27%. So again, we had a very terrible week, but at the end of the week, we are 6% up. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is why it's so important for you to have like a nice risk management system or even technique. Why? Because we had a terrible week. We're expecting us to be so down. We're expecting our positions, as in expecting our account to be doing terrible. But you see, yet we had 7 losses, only 3 wins through the week. But we ended up becoming profitable. At the end of the week. So it's really important. It's really important for you to be able to like maintain this formula, like use this formula. Why? Because for every loss you take, you just need, let's say you take 2 losses, you'll need only 1 winning trade to recover the loss and even be ahead of the game. Yeah. So we're going to have like another final example, where we are going to like risk model for a much smaller account, let's say a $200 account. Yeah. Of course, we have our rules. The first rule says we're risking only 3%. We're only risking 3% of our account. 3% of 200 should be around, where my mathematicians, 3%, 3% of 200, around $6. Yeah. So somebody out here could be saying, $6, this small capital. But in terms of percentage, this is already 3% of your account. Yeah. So it's always very important for you like to look it in terms of percentages, because if you look it in terms of money, you end up being greedy. I promise you'll end up being greedy. So $6. We are going to have another hypothetical. We're going to use the same parameters, where we have a 20 pips stop loss. We also have like a 30 pips stop loss. And finally, we also have 15 pips stop loss. So the formula goes our risk, which in this case is 6, divided by the stop loss in pips, which is 20 pips. Then the answer that we'll get, we'll divide it by 10. The answer 6 divided by 20. This is 0.3 divided by 10. We get 0.03. So for this position, we're going to use a 0.03 lot size, and in case our trade goes wrong, then we'll only end up losing $6 with a 0.03 lot size. The second scenario, of course, our risk, which is $6, divided by our stop loss, which is 30 pips, divided by 10. This is going to give us the lot size. It's a very simple math. It can't even take you 2 minutes. As long as you have your setup, it can take you 2 minutes before you executing. Please always take out your calculator before executing a position. Use this formula. Take care of your account. Take care of the funds. Learn how to manage your risk. Once you learn how to manage your risk, it's going to be a game changer for you. So for this second scenario, we're going to have a 30 pip stop loss. Now we're going to use a 0.02 lot size for us to be able to lose $6. Again, it's very important to always, the first and most important thing is to predetermine your risk. Yeah, you have to be okay with losing whatever figure that you have set as your risk. So that's why I'm saying this is how much you're going to lose. Yeah, because that's the key thing. You understand every position you're taking on its own, that's a risk. So it's very important to know, in case your position goes in the wrong direction, how much am I going to lose? And this amount, it's equivalent to what percentage of my account. Yeah. So once you do this, you spare yourself of this anguish of, oh, my trade is going in the wrong direction. Oh, should I close? Huh? Why? Because you've already predetermined your risk and now you're comfortable losing that. I mean, you don't have to keep on like being hasty or being anxious, because at the end of the day, you've predetermined your risk and you've fully accepted the risk. Yeah. So for this final situation, we're seeing we're going to have a 0.04 lot size for this position, for us to be able to lose only $6 in case our trade goes in the wrong direction. The same thing, if I do this, it ends up becoming the same thing. Yeah, we end up becoming profitable at the end of the week. And if we are not profitable, we'll only need like a single position or even 2 positions for us to come out profitable in the long run. So if you use this technique, I guarantee you, it's going to help you compound your account. Why? Because now you understand, you have your rules. Let's say, for instance, you lose like 3 trades in a row, back to back. You've taken the first position, 3% risk, you've lost it. You've taken another position, 3% risk, you've lost it. Another position, 3%, you've lost it, that simply means that's already 9% of your account. That's okay, that's fine for the day. Just like call it a day, lay back, assess your trades, figure out what you did wrong, then come back the next day. So this is the magic formula. I'm calling it a magic formula because using this formula, you can never blow an account. Again, if you truly stick to this formula, not just you're using this one day, then the other day you go in discipline mode, But again, it's a process. It's a process. But yeah, this is it. This is what I really wanted to put out there, because put out some nice information, and probably some of you already now able to predict properly, or even like to analyze the markets properly, and probably don't understand about risk management. So I thought it was wise for me to put this out before even I continue with things like the volume profile, and even things like top-down analysis and all that. Those are videos that are going to come way ahead. But risk management, I thought this would be so important for me to put it across at this stage, because now it would be so bad if I did not do this. So again, guys, this is it. Thank you so much for staying till this point. Don't forget to share this video if you found value. Share it with your friends who are struggling with risk management. Help them to stop blowing their accounts. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to help this community grow. Thank you so much. See you on the next video. Thank you.